Congressman Jerry Nadler, the veteran Democrat from New York and longtime defender of working-class Americans, took to the floor to challenge what many progressives are calling a wolf in sheep's clothing, a so-called balanced budget amendment. But as Nadler laid bare, this isn't really about fiscal responsibility. It's about rigging the rules embedding into the very fabric of our Constitution, a two-thirds supermajority requirement that would make it nearly impossible to raise taxes on the ultra-wealthy, while the Trump-era tax giveaways to billionaires sailed through with a simple majority.
Mr. Chairman, I am opposed to any balanced budget amendment. The Congress is elected by the people to, among other things, enact a budget. If the people prefer the budget be balanced, fine. If they vote for people who don't want to balance the budget, also fine. But beyond that, we can balance the budget. And as was pointed out, when President Clinton was president, we had 4 years of balanced budgets because he wanted to do it. But what I also object to this amendment is it says Section 4, any bill to levy a new tax or to increase the rate of any tax needs a two-thirds vote of the whole number of each house. Two-thirds not of those present voting, but of the whole number. But that biases things. It takes a two-thirds vote to increase a tax, but it biases it against spending. We may want to spend. The people may want to spend money. They often do want to spend money. And this says, essentially, that they can't spend money unless they get two-thirds vote. It biases it. If it said you can't enact an appropriation without a two-thirds vote, it would be even worse, but at least it would be balanced. So this is an unbalanced constitutional amendment because the people, by majority vote, cannot increase the tax. Now, we have billionaires effectively paying no taxes, paying tax rates lower than middle-class people. We ought to increase taxes on those billionaires. But with this amendment, we couldn't do it without a two-thirds vote. If we under President Trump, we have several times, twice in 2017, and earlier this year, last year rather, we passed huge bills that greatly increased the budget by doing what? By lowering taxes on billionaires. We want to undo that. And it shouldn't take a two-thirds vote to undo a tax or to raise taxes on billionaires, but a majority vote to relieve taxes on billionaires. It's introducing a bias into the Constitution, a pro-billionaire, anti-people bias, and it must be opposed for that and many other reasons. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.
Congressman Nadler, in just a few minutes on the House floor, managed to expose what this so-called balanced budget amendment truly is not a tool of fiscal discipline, but a constitutional straitjacket designed to protect the wealthiest Americans from ever being asked to pay their fair share. The Republican majority is attempting to enshrine into the United States Constitution, the most sacred document of our democracy, a provision that would require a two-thirds supermajority to raise taxes. Not a two-thirds vote to cut Social Security, not a two-thirds vote to slash Medicare or defund public schools, just to raise taxes. Ask yourself, who benefits from that asymmetry? It's not the teacher in Ohio. It's not the nurse in Georgia. It's not the single mother working 2 jobs in Detroit. It is, as Nadler so bluntly put it, the billionaires, the same billionaires who, under Donald Trump's 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, received one of the largest wealth transfers in American history, while the national debt soared by nearly $8 trillion. And here's the irony that should keep every American up at night. The very people who added trillions to the deficit through tax giveaways to the ultra-rich are now telling you that we need a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. They broke it. And now they want to make sure you can never fix it. Nadler reminded us of something important today, something this town conveniently forgets. Under President Bill Clinton, a Democrat, we didn't need a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. We did it. 4 consecutive years of surpluses. And we did it the old-fashioned way, through responsible governance, smart policy, and yes, asking those at the top to contribute a little more. No amendment required, just political will. By locking a two-thirds requirement into the Constitution, its architects aren't promoting responsibility, they're paralyzing it. They're ensuring that the Trump tax cuts, which overwhelmingly benefited the top 1%, become functionally permanent. Because if you need 67 senators to raise a single tax rate, you don't have a democracy, you have a veto held by the minority on behalf of the privileged few. This is not about balancing the budget. If it were, Section 4 wouldn't exist. This is about tilting the playing field permanently, constitutionally, irreversibly, in favor of those who already have the most. It is, in the truest sense of the word, an unbalanced amendment for an unbalanced era. Congressman Nadler called it a pro-billionaire, anti-people bias.